Once upon a time,
Something.
there was an alien that landed on a planet where it had never been before. And it had beautiful purple tentacles as it came off of the ship. And waiting for it was a jet.
Lovely jet. I thought you were saying that Jen was there with you. So it's a purple monster.
Purple. It's a
Tentacles. The monster with purple.
It's an alien science fiction.
Alien
Even
it's an
monsters.
alien.
Okay.
Listen,
It's an
man,
alien
listen.
with purple tentacles.
All right. So there's no Yeti ninjas in this one. So so as this alien lands on this desolate planet full of emptiness, there's a lot of vast. All it sees is vast, out
Right, thesaurus.
in the frontiers of vastness. It stumbles upon an outcrop of small buildings, and the alien slurping along on its purple tentacles seeps closer and closer to this outcropping of buildings, wondering what it will find there, and hoping it will be tasty. Because this has got a voracious appetite, it wants nothing to do but to eat and eat and eat. It's already destroyed thousands of planets in its wake. It's probably the meanest monster ever.
Bill.
The problem, of course, that it did find these buildings. It was used to terrorizing everything in its wake. Nothing ever stood back before it. When suddenly it realized that what it had here was a restaurant. It realized, of course, that it had tentacles. Inside was a Chinese ninja cook who said, "Oh my God, should I be terrified, or is this going to be the world's best calamari ever?" Suddenly the breading came out. The oil was fired up. The alien went, "Ha, I will eat you." The chef said, "Hung high." "Oh, yeah, right, big boy." Beautiful plate of lovely purple calamari began to appear. It was passed out to people who were very hungry, because these people in real life were not just a set of isolated people heading out on an empty planet.
Joe.
They were
Mormon colonists. Who had brought cases and cases of plastic Bibles to cascade around the whole arm of the galaxy. And as the purple aliens slowly fell asleep into a comatose blob of absolutely religious boredom, finally one of them said, "Jesus, and somebody said, "Did somebody mention my best friend?" I said, "Jesus, would you please rescue us from this?"
And a pillar of light descended into the middle of this restaurant. And beaming down came William Shatner. And 9 people wearing all red shirts.
Were there tribbles?
That's... Okay. So they fanned out in every direction looking for the danger, because there's always danger, right? You know this, you've got the danger. And so the Mormons, however, came out with their plastic Bibles and said, "We'd like to share these with you. And some purple calamari. It's a nice treat. You put the two together, a Bible, a calamari, mix it a bit, you know, cook, okay. Thank God.
So what we have now is a situation where we have a bunch of strangely vicious anti-seafood, or they really liked it a lot, Mormons. We have a red shirt, well, a captain and 9 red shirts. We all know what happens to the red shirts in any of these shows, because it turns out that the calamari was poisonous. This was a very vicious alien, so we had to punish and kill everybody. William Shatner was there all alone, and there was only one thing for him to do.
He immediately jumped to a different station and began a boy meets girl comedy. And Shatner cast himself as the girl, and the boy was this tall Vulcan who could not keep his hands off. And it was a very, very interesting thing, and resonated through the whole universe of science fiction. Spock and Kirk finally together in the only configuration that makes sense to the network, because neither of them could have sex. That wouldn't be possible. Fortunately, neither of them had the anatomy for sex, nor the disposition.
Jed.
And then space pirates. No. So then, at that moment, another beam of light came down, and they were transported to another television show. And William Shatner finds this lovely woman, and he's now a police officer, and says, "You look like a hooker." And she says, "Well done, TJ." Too soon.
Some of us do not watch television, so we do not understand the language.
For what do you speak, young short person?
Nothing at all. So at that moment, the original alien from our story became aware. Its mind remembered what it had been done to it. And it lashed out in fury, deciding it was going to take down the entire planet with it.
Bill.
Sorry.
So what we have now here, just to recap this wonderfully succinct story, there's an alien space pirate captain who was also transgendered at this point. He renamed himself, instead of Shatner, he said, "I'll be called Kate from now on." Kate Shatner.
Good for her.
That way she could go ahead and do whatever she wanted to with Spock. They'd have a wonderful relationship with children who were half alien and half human. The problem was they were also half short and half tall, which was really uncomfortable. So they went ahead and they went from this. They were trying to figure out how they'd go ahead and build a relationship with the Mormons, how they'd manage to go ahead and get the calamari inside them and keep it fresh. And things were just getting extremely confusing.
Joe.
And the leader of the Mormons, having learned how to keep the calamari inside them fresh, through some sort of spiritual niceness, muttered those magic words, "Kiss me, Kate." And Shatner just moved over real close to him and said, "You know, we haven't really been introduced, and this is Iowa." And so, the alien, with all the amorous instincts, and all the tentacles, and all the strange colors in his body, and these Mormon tendencies that have never properly been expressed, decides to end it all